Alright, good evening and welcome to EBN Weekend Edition on this 8th day of March 2025. Of course, today we've got plenty lined up for you, including today our Wafula Chebukati, that is the former Independent Electoral Boundaries Commission IEBC chairperson, was laid to rest today. Also, on the broadcast tonight, the pact between ODM and UDA faces reactions, scrutiny among several leaders in the country. Also, today is International Women's Day. We've got that and much more lined up for you. Alright, remember you can watch this particular bulletin live on Facebook and as well as on YouTube, and you can as well send us your feedback through our SMS line, that is 23059. Macharia is my name, and EBN Weekend Edition starts now. And former Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission chairperson Wafula Chebukati was laid to rest today in Kitale, Trans Nzoia County, following a solemn funeral ceremony. His death has left the nation in mourning, with many recalling his pivotal role in the announcement of the controversial presidential elections results on August 15th of 2022. During the funeral, his wife, Mary Wanyonyi, shared moving details about the family's experience during the turbulent time. She revealed that Chebukati had received threatening calls before leaving their home for the Bomas of Kenya, where chaos later erupted. Wanyonyi described how, despite numerous attempts, she struggled to reach him and eventually sought help from Citizen TV's journalist Sam Gituko. Gituko directed her to human rights organizations that ensured Chebukati's safety amidst the threats. In his eulogy, President William Ruto honored Chebukati as a courageous leader who upheld high standards of integrity in his tenure at the helm of IEBC. He praised Chebukati for his steadfast leadership, commending his refusal to succumb to intimidation and his commitment to conducting a free and fair electoral process. Ruto also acknowledged Chebukati's dedication to his family, calling him a devoted husband and a father. Chebukati passed away on February 20th of 2025 after suffering a heart attack while receiving treatment in Nairobi.
Before the fracas, we tried to reach him. We couldn't reach him because Rachel's friends were telling her, your father is being compromised. We hear he's delaying announcing the results. So when we tried to find out what is happening, we even called upon Sam Gituku. He happened to be airing Citizen Live. I asked him, I got his number, I called, I said, there's something happening at Bomas. Can you put it on air? And he said, I don't see anything happen. In less than a minute, he says, oh my God, I now can see what's happening. He says the only thing he could do for us was to refer us to some human rights institution, because there's nothing more he could do. But we thank him for whatever little that he did. So there was the fracas. I called in, I tried to reach him, I couldn't reach him. Eventually I got the aide to take the phone to anybody who was around him. The nearest person he found was Bishop Oginde. And I asked him, is my father alive? That's my husband alive? That's all I need to know. He said, yes, I can see he's alive.
This man has booked a place in the annals of history for what he did for this nation when the nation needed somebody to do the right thing. Chebukati did it. To Wafula Chebukati, fare thee well, a great man, a man of great intelligence, a man of great courage, and a man of tremendous integrity.
Alright, at the same time, President William Ruto has emphasized that the recent unity agreement between Kenya Kwanza and the Orange Democratic Movement is not about power sharing or the 2027 general elections, but is focused on promoting the country's social, economic, and political transformation. Speaking during the funeral of former Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission chairperson Wafula Chebukati in Kiminini, Trans Nzoia County, President Ruto highlighted the significance of the framework agreement signed with former Prime Minister Raila Odinga The president assured Kenya that the primary aim of the agreement is to foster national unity, tackle youth unemployment, improve inclusivity in governance, and promote integrity in public service. He underscored that the government is committed to equitable development across all regions of the country.
Tulikubaliana na ndugu zangu ambao tunashirikiana na wao katika serikali ya Kenya, akiwemo Speaker wetu Moses Wetangula, akiwemo Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi na viongozi wale wengine, ya kwamba tutatembea kwa pamoja. Jana tulikubaliana na kiongozi wa ODM Mheshimiwa Raila Odinga kwamba tushirikiane, sio kwa manufaa ya kiongozi fulani ama jamii fulani, ni kwa manufaa na sio kwa manufaa ya mambo ya kugawana vyeo ama manufaa eti ya uchaguzi. Hapana, tuungane ili tuweze kuhakikisha kwamba Kenya inapiga hatua ya kwenda mbele. Tupange kwa pamoja uchumi wetu, tupange kwa pamoja ajira kwa vijana wetu, tupange kwa pamoja vile tunaweza kulisha taifa na vile tunaweza kuendesha taifa letu katika hali ambapo Wakenya wote watajihisi kwamba they belong to one inclusive, indivisible, progressive nation called Kenya. And therefore, without a doubt, I must say to all the leaders who share in the vision of a united nation, of a united, prosperous Kenya that is inclusive, that we must work together in that manner. I am a great believer that Chebukati believed in that kind of a nation. There are others who believe in other things, who believe in tribes, and they want to discuss tribes and how they are going to work with the tribes. That is your choice. We believe in a nation called Kenya. And that is why I serve as president the people who voted for me and those who did not vote for me, because they are Kenyans equally.
All right, moving on, former Mosop Member of Parliament Vincent Tuwei has cautioned President William Ruto against placing his trust in ODM leader Raila Odinga ahead of the 2027 general elections. Speaking in Lelmoko Ngechek ward in Nandi, Tuwei warned that Raila, despite their current coalition agreement, is known to be unpredictable and could abandon Ruto at the 11th hour. Tuwei's comment comes amidst growing speculations regarding the nature of political alliance between Ruto and Odinga, who have formed a pact ahead of the next presidential race. The former MP reminded the president of Raila's history of shifting allegiances, citing his endorsement of Mwai Kibaki in 2002, despite having previously made an agreement with the late President Daniel Arap Moi after joining the KANU party from the NDP.
Mambo ya YK92, father. Moi alikuwa ameanguka. The same way our current leaders are now confusing the president. Na hizi fichi. Our current president is confused. He doesn't know where to go, what to do. They are all expecting Raila to give a decision. Let me tell you, do not rely on Raila. He can change 11th hour na hamuna mahali pa kwenda. Hiyo mnajidanganya hapa bure. You are dealing with a man whom you don't understand. So when you send this community kwa Raila, mimi nakuambia pinyo wacho. Yeye akienda huko anasema pinyo. Unajua maana ya pinyo wacho. So long as you see Orengo is not with you, Raila speaks through others. But he behaves innocent. Don't be surprised. Musitegemee yeye. Mulifanya boko makosa juzi kufukuza Gachagua bila plan. Plan yenu na kujipika kifua ndio imetuletea shida mheshimiwa. Na msituambia hapa Nandi kuna watu adui ya William. Nyinyi viongozi ndio adui yetu. Kwa sababu you are not doing the right thing for us. Let us fight using the government turekebishe mambo ambayo inatakana saizi.
All right, Jubilee Party Secretary General Jeremiah Kioni has strongly criticized opposition leader Raila Odinga for his recent decision to align with President William Ruto's government, calling it as a betrayal. Kioni accused Odinga of prioritizing personal gain over party unity and expressed disappointment that the leader did not consult with fellow Azimio coalition members before making the shift. Speaking during a consultative meeting with Jubilee Party members in Tigania, West Meru County, Kioni raised concerns over the potential impact of Odinga's move on key political processes. He stated that the implementation of the National Dialogue Committee, that is NADCO report, which was expected to bring about crucial political and electoral reforms, is now effectively a thing of the past.
We negotiated the composition of IEBC. Tukasema Azimio will be given X number of people to select. KK will be given X number of people to select. Raila alikuwa na sisi Azimio. Na tukakubaliana kupitia kwa Raila members wetu wa Azimio watakuwa ni akina hawa ama ni namba hii. Naye Ruto yake pande hii. Sasa Raila na Ruto wameenda pamoja. Hiyo IBC kuna mna gani? Haro? That's already a compromised IBC. Na chama kama Jubilee ambacho kiko na 7.1 million voters, registered voters, we do not have an opportunity to have somebody in that panel. We are very careful when we talk. We have to be very careful when we talk about mambo ya IBC. This guy ni juu ya gari tu. So Raila has now joined so that he can buy another car. Yeye pia atokeze kichwa wapi? Juu ya gari. Because that's all William knows. Since 2013, kichwa ya Ruto imekuwa juu ya gari. He doesn't know what a desk is. Ile desk anajua kukalia ni ya Biden tu kule Ulaya. But hapa locally, he has never sat behind a desk to try and solve the problems of Kenyans. The Auditor General told us that in the last 7 months, William Ruto and his team withdrew from the consolidated fund 1.3 trillion shillings in cash. Over 7 months, 1.3 trillion shillings. Sasa Raila, hiyo ndio umeenda kuangalia pahali iko ama umeenda kufanya nini kwa Ruto? How can you join such a guy? Na sisi tulitembea hapa tukitafutia Raila kura. We were all over here at Azimio tukitafuta kura. Hata kama kweli umeamua kwenda, kwa nini usiambie wale mmekuwa na wao ya kwamba unaenda? Huwezi tema chomoka hivi tu kama pia umeiba kitu. Unaenda tu chwa, hawezi.
Right, moving on. Coast Muslim leaders have called on President William Ruto and the opposition leader Raila Odinga to focus on national development and addressing the country's challenges through their political alliance rather than using their partnership for political gain. Led by Sheikh Abu Qatada, the leaders emphasized the importance of a broad-based government and the handshake between Ruto and Odinga, urging them to prioritize issues that directly affect the lives of ordinary Kenyans. Among the key issues raised were job opportunities, equitable distribution of resources, and rising inflation, which continue to strain the livelihoods of many citizens. The clerics also called on the National Cohesion and Integration Committee, that is NCIC, to take swift action against leaders who promote hate speech and division among Kenyans, further urging them to resist efforts that attempt to divide the nation along tribal and regional lines.
Maneno ambayo kwamba yataleta mgongano katika nchi yetu. Hatungependa turudi sema ambayo kwamba tulikuwa kama mwaka wa 2007. Hatukufurahishwa kabisa na maneno ya aliyokuwa naibu wa rais Gachagua akimweleza rais aliyoko mamlakani kuwa asije maeneo haya, maeneo ya Meru. Haya maneno ni maneno ambayo kwamba ni sensitive sana, na usalama wa rais ni haki ya kila ambaye kwamba ni mwananchi wa nchi yetu. Na pia tunapongeza umoja ambao kwamba tunaona baina ya viongozi, baina ya Raila, baina ya Ruto na viongozi wengine, ila tungeomba huu umoja pia uwe ni umoja wa wananchi, isaidie maisha. Hakuna ambaye kwamba atakataa jambo la umoja, na hata viongozi ambao kwamba sasa hivi wanaonekana labda wako katika upinzani, wito wetu kama viongozi wa Kiislamu, umoja wetu utatusaidia katika nchi yetu kupiga hatua, kuliko kuvutana hapa na pale, itakuwa ni kutuchelewesha kama nchi kimaendeleo.
Tunaomba katiba ibadilishwe, iwe baada ya election tu watu wazingatie mambo maendeleo peke yake. Mambo ya siasa tokea tunachaguana mpaka mwisho, election nyingine ni siasa kwenda tu. Hiyo tunaomba katika katiba ibadilishwe, maana yule anayevunja hiyo sheria achukuliwe hatua.
Alright, away from matters politics to matters International Women's Day, the National Council of Churches of Kenya, that is the NCCK, marked International Women's Day with a vibrant celebration in Ziani Adi Ward, Kitui South constituency, where women in the region shared their stories of progress in women's rights and empowerment. During the event, women in Kitui highlighted the significant milestones they have achieved in the fight for equal rights. Many celebrated the progress made towards gender equality, noting positive changes in societal attitudes and opportunities for women in various sectors. However, they also raised concerns about persistent challenges, including rising cases of gender-based violence and love-related killings, which continue to threaten the safety and well-being of women. They called on both the government and the community to address these issues urgently.
Today it was a Women International celebration for the day when we've come, and we were invited to come and join the women as they celebrate the big day for them. We are at Nzaini, that is in Adi Ward in Kitui County. What I would say, we really enjoyed the company of the women. The women that this day give highlights on where the women have come from, or what they have achieved so far and the way forward, and also how they have been able to mitigate the challenges, because before women were had no place in the space.
Kati kama huu sisi tumeona kulingana na vile miladi imeingilia huku kwetu tumesaidika. Aswa hii miladi yetu iko hapa tulikulingana na kile ule mradi uliingia unaitwa NCCK. Siku hizi umetushimbia masilanga. Sisi wakina mama tumepumzika kidogo kwa kuendea maji mbali. Alafu sisi tunasema hiyo siku ya leo tunafurahia sana kuona hawa mashirika wakiingia hapa wametusaidia sisi wakina mama. Okay, sisi tungeuliza hawa mashirika wanapoendelea na kuwa huko kwetu watusaidie pia. Siwe wamama tuko na kiangazi kingi sana. Kupitia tukikosa mvua sisi tunakuwa na kiangazi sana ya kutembea tukitafuta chakula.
Na leo hii niko na furaha kuu kusherehekea sikukuu ya wanawake. Furaha yangu ni kwamba wanawake wamejumuishwa katika mambo mbalimbali ya kijamii. Tukiangalia hapo nyuma wanawake walikuwa wameachwa, lakini sasa wanawake wamejumuishwa katika mambo mbalimbali. Sana sana tukiegemea kwa jamii, wanawake hawakuwa wanahusishwa sana sana kama ni mambo na mashamba.
Swala ambalo mmeniuliza ya kina baba, ndio tunaona kuna wenye wamebakia nyuma, lakini kwa njia moja ama lingine ni kutoelimishwa namna ya kuishi pamoja, au mtu kujua jukumu lake mahali anashikilia. Kwa mfano, najua katika familia unapata kuna baba anakuwa ndiye kila kitu na mama anakuwa bado, hata kama mzee ameondokea inabaki kama hana hali ya kujiendelesha. Lakini najua wakati wako pamoja wanazungumza, inakuwa baada ya mama kuelimishwa na hao mashirika wanakuja huku, wanapata afueni ya kuwa na mawazo ya kukaa na kujadiliana.
And as the world celebrates International Women's Day in Kajiado, Women in Kajiado County are expressing their deep concern over the increasing cases of gender-based violence and sexual assault in the region. The local community is frustrated by the delays in apprehending perpetrators and bringing them to justice. During a gathering in Kiseri and Kajiado West, leaders and women rights against advocates voiced their dissatisfaction with the slow response of these crimes. They called for immediate action from the county government and other relevant authorities to ensure that those responsible for sexual violence and gender-based abuse are swiftly brought to justice. One of the most recent and alarming incidents occurred in the Magadi area, where several women were victims of rape. The key suspect, a fugitive named Logari, remains at large, raising further concerns about the effectiveness of the law enforcement in the area.
Nimekuja kuungana na kina mama wa Kajiado County ili kuja kusherekea siku ya kina mama duniani, na wamama wengi waliweza kujitokeza. Tumefurahia sana kuwa pamoja, na wamama wameongea na wakasema vilio vyao ambavyo viko vingi, na wanaomba serikali wasaidie, wanaomba wafadhili wasaidie, lakini kilio kuu ilikuwa kuhusu mbakaji mmoja mkuu ambayo yuko kwenye kaunti yetu, ambayo serikali inajaribu kumpata mahali yupo. Viongozi wetu wanamtafuta, wamama wanalia, wako na uoga.
We've had a lot of, tunasema, according to me, our NGOs, kuna watu wanaanza kusema they can't reach to a certain place because of geographical factors. But at the end of the day, kumbuka kwamba hawa bado kuna watu wanaishi huko. Kuna watu ambao bado ukeketaji wa wasichana ina happen. Yani they're still deep in culture. And like the case that we saw in Bisil, where the girl was being forcefully taken, and unapata watu wakisimama kuongea wanaongelelea mambo mengine ambayo si hayo. So we are calling, it is a call to action to the government to support the girls and young women, and also to support the community. There is a lot of lack of knowledge. Watu hawajafika mashinani, watu hawajafika huko ndani kwenda kuelimisha watu ya kwamba kuna vitu ambavyo they are wrong to be done.
Na situation ambavyo venye kuko kesi za GBV zinaendelea kuongezeka, na ukiangalia awareness iko, watu wameambiwa kuhusu gender based violence, na tunajaribu pia kuelewa how comes the cases ina increase. So pia tukiangalia the economic situation, it's not easy. Unapata maybe cases za wasichana ambao wanauawa kwa Airbnbs because of the economic situation ama vile wanafinyika.
Pia leo nafurahia sana kusherehekea wanawake wenzangu, lakini bado pia sina furaha kwa sababu kuna pia wanawake ambao wanadhulumiwa. Tukikuwa specific sana in Kajiado West, kwa sababu bado kuna gender based violence ambazo ni dhulma za kijinsia.
Right, moving on, National Treasury and Economic Planning Cabinet Secretary John Mbadi has called on Kenyan youth and citizens at large to actively participate in the budget formation process for the 2025-2026 fiscal year. This move aims to ensure that their concerns are captured and addressed, avoiding the rejection of the finance bill, as was witnessed in the 2024-2025 finance bill by the Gen Z demographic. Speaking during a budget formation awareness campaign in Mombasa at Swahili Port Hub, Mbadi emphasized the importance of equal involvement from all citizens, particularly youth and members of Bunge la Wananchi, in shaping the upcoming budget proposal. Despite the country's total debt standing at 11.02 trillion, with 5.83 trillion Kenya shillings being domestic debt, Mbadi assured that the government has managed to stabilize inflation, which has dropped to 3.5%.
After this discussion, and going forward, so that we don't have again a serious contention around the finance bill. And by the way, let me just talk about this finance bill. Finance bill does not have to increase taxes. It can also lower taxes. The agenda of the government is bottom up. Bottom up has pillars: agricultural pillar, job creation, housing, health or universal health coverage. Then we also have what we call the digital superhighway, an inclusive economy. No, we must do our budgets in line with those pillars. Because if you just put figures, you just throw figures, amounts, money, left, right, and center, you cannot realize economic growth that is sustainable. Because economic growth must be anchored on something. There must be a foundation. And for this matter, the foundation must be the government agenda. I don't want a situation where, after we have taken the bill to Parliament, then the whole country is up in arms that they were not consulted. If now you don't take advantage of those consultation window, then you will not blame John Bani. But I want to guarantee you that our tax policy is that we keep tax regime stable, predictable. We don't want to adjust taxes anyhow. We are going to be more keen on ensuring that we improve on tax administration. We make sure that Kenya Revenue Authority is collecting taxes with efficiency and bring more people to the tax bracket as opposed to overtaxing those who are already paying.
Right, farmers and stakeholders in Mumias have issued a 14-day ultimatum to the management of Mumias Sugar Company, demanding that the company disclose its financial and assets, status reports to, or face legal action. At a press briefing held in Mumias, the farmers voiced concerns over what they suspect to be a financial mismanagement and the ailing sugar miller. Their fears have been further compounded by a recent demand from the Kenya Revenue Authority for 3.5 billion in unpaid taxes from the company's receiver manager. The farmers claim that the company owes KCB Bank a tune of 545 million, but the KRA's significant tax demanded raises questions about the actual financial performance of the company, suggesting that Mumias Sugar may have generated more revenue than previously reported. This has led to growing suspicion about the management of the company's finances.
This receiver manager who commenced operations in February 2020, he produced a total of 2.2 million liters of ethanol, which was going at 400 shillings, and that earned him 880 million shillings. Enough to pay off Kenya Commercial Bank, alafu waende. What are they still doing there?
Wangali wanafanya nini hapo?
Kweli swali. Waende. Pesa yao walipata. Waende.
Yeah, it's our contention that the KCB money has been realized and a lot of underhand activities are going on in Mumias, which this committee is concerned about.
We have never been served with any report. We don't know what this receiver manager took over. Hatujui alichukua tractor ngapi, hatujui alichukua vitu vya ofisi ngapi, hatujui alipata hii sukari yenye ilikuwa huko aliuza, alikapa pesa ilienda wapi. We have never been given any status report. In addition to that, hatujui ako na mpango ya kukaa hapo mpaka lini.
Yes.
Na atatoka lini. That's the mystery that is within this thing, because from the way it's being conducted, it's like this receiver manager may be there for eternity. So, and the only entity that can unearth where the processes are any ills is the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. Na huo ndio msimamo wa wakulima.
Yes.
At the rate where now KRA is demanding for 3.5 billion. Hey. And yet that is value way above the money the government, the man was supposed to pay. 500 million for Kenya Commercial Bank. Now we are talking about 3 billion. It also means he is making more profit than what he is posting to us, the public. Yes. So we need and we demand that since they killed the farmer organizations, out of these farmers that you are seeing, we are going to have representatives and demand that at every step of the receiver manager in engaging the factory and as farmers, we must be able to be consulted, because with them going out without involving us, they are stealing from us, they are killing our economy, which they have continuously killed. If he cannot file returns correctly, if he cannot give us the report correctly, then what is he managing?
Right, the Ministry of Education has been urged to waive the KCSE examination fees for private candidates for the remaining 2 years of the 844 education system. The call comes from Mrs. Joanne Ochome, the director of Pendeza Africa, an organization that has been supporting adult education in Siaya and Kisumu counties. Speaking during a meeting at the center in Kogelo Village, Siaya County, Mrs. Ochome highlighted that the current registration of fees, 7,000 for private candidates, has been a significant barrier for many adult learners. She emphasized that numerous adults who were eager to sit for the KCSE exams have been unable to register due to financial constraints.
We just encourage the people who are not able to have their certificates through 844 to join our program, and we will connect them appropriately. So we have very great members here, and some of them have testimonies, great testimonies of success. They joined Pendeza, they did not have any hope. Today, some of them, the women are saying they are proud owners of businesses. The young people are professionals. So it's a great program, and we encourage even other organizations and even government. Why don't we give these 2 remaining years just for free? Because it's expensive actually to register. One candidate is 7,000, and you can imagine how much we pay for this candidate. So why don't we just open it? If you're saying that we want to help the society, why don't we just give these 2 years to the candidates to have free registration the way we have done for Class 8s the previous years. We want to say that one thing, we appreciate the government for the TVETs. Actually, we have quite a number of them who have been able to join the organizations for training. But even at organizational levels, we are thinking that we can empower them. There are some of the members who just have a phobia of sitting in class, and on-job training is the best for them. So we know that with adequate support, we can help them to have apprenticeship where they are sent to people who've already established businesses. For, like we say, we have hairdressing, they are sent to salons. We have people who do dressmaking, tailoring, we send them to the factories. That will be great for us.
All right, it is exactly 32 minutes past the top of the hour. That note, we wrap up our bulletin here at EBN Weekend Edition. But before we do that, I want to shout out some viewers. That is Nancy Mweni, Brian Mose, Milka Wawire, David Njue, Sylvia Gadi, Manuel Ndeti, Geoffrey Mwemi, and of course, Kennedy Jumba Asirigo. Tunasema asante sana for your viewership. My name is Martin Macharia, signing off. Do have yourself a blessed Sunday ahead, and let's meet again when God says we do.